Trust me, you do not want to arm wrestle this guy. Hey, what's happening, gamers? I'm Kwing, and welcome to our Let's Play channel. Today is all about Gotham's Reckoning. Bane! And no, the Bane voice will not be used that much during this video because I'm losing my fight with bronchitis. Anyway, the Bane fig is actually two figs in one. He's appeared in all the LEGO Batman games, and he's still goo resistant, fire resistant, has super healing, but his new power is the ability to transform into a big figure where the venom pumps directly into his brain, giving him superhuman strength. His character is actually based after the pre-52 rather than New 52 costume, which is more or less the Arkham Asylum games. Now, Bane can be located in the episode Pursuers in the Sewers, and it can only be obtained in free play using ice powers. Also, for the purpose of this review, spotlight, whatever you want to call it, I will not be talking about New 52 Bane. Why? Because DC ruined the character and styled him after the monstrous Bane from Arkham Asylum in Schumacher's film, Unforgivable, and reduced him to a brainless monster in a colorful costume. Way to go, DC! Anyway, Bane first appeared in January 1993 and would later become known as the Man Who Broke the Bat during the famous comic arc Knightfall, which was a miniseries in the 90s, where Batman was finally beaten by a newcomer just like Superman. He was actually created by Chuck Dixon, one of my favorite Nightwing writers of all time. Now let's dive into Bane's origin, because I'm sure all of you are curious. His childhood was actually very sad. He was forced to live out his father's sentence in Santa Monica prison, along with his mother, who was cast into prison as well, and unfortunately she would pass away before Bane turned 7 years old. His only friend in the whole wide world was little Osito, a stuffed bear. I promised I wouldn't cry. While in jail, little Bane used this time to study all kinds of stuff. He read many books, including mysteries, crime dramas, detective stories, and how the criminal mind actually worked. If things ended up differently for Bane, he could have been an awesome Batman. His intelligence level alone pre-52 was one of the highest in the DC universe at the time. Aside from reading, Bane's pastimes included chemistry, computer science, working in the gym, and learning how to fight. Actually, scratch that last one. He needed to know how to fight to survive prison life. Actually, his stuffed bear that he used to carry around had a knife hidden inside of it to protect himself should things get too hairy in the big house. In his late teens, Bane declared himself the king of the prison, and some of the higher-ups and guards and the warden didn't really like that. So Bane was sent off to a Dr. Frankenstein-like guy who experimented on the poor kid, using a new experimental serum called Venom, which actually destroyed all its other test subjects except for Bane. For Bane, it gave him superhuman strength and made him a little bit smarter. Though, unfortunately, he grew a dependency to the drug and has to keep taking it every 12 hours. And he has tubes attached to the back of his head. If he doesn't take it, well, he could suffer fatal side effects. After saying, "No way, prison food," Bane escaped the renowned jail and traveled to Gotham City, because the Batman fascinated him. Bane made the observation that Gotham City, much like Santa Prisca, was a prison ruled by fear. Though the fear in this case is that of the Batman, and if he could defeat the man he admired, then he could become the ruler of Gotham City. Or at least he thought something like that. Now, Bane easily took control of the underworld and then studied the Batman very closely. In order to do that, though, he needed to blow up Arkham Asylum and Blackgate and watch as Batman ran himself ragged, tiring himself out for the next 3 months, recapturing everyone, and I mean everyone, that escaped. And Batman did that all in 3 months. That's impressive. Not giving Batman time to rest, though, Bane discovered the secret identity of Bruce Wayne and surprised him in Wayne Manor. Because Bruce was so exhausted from the countless nights and the various battles he fought, he was no match for the ruthless Bane. Bane easily dispatches Batman and basically says, "Okay, Mr. Wayne, say uncle." And Bruce is like, "No, never." "Fine then, you will beg for mercy and scream my name. Or I will break, no, I'm just gonna break you." So he lifts Batman over his head and snap, breaks him like a Kit Kat bar. Was that too dark? I can never tell. After the bat is broken, Bruce, now paralyzed, chooses a replacement to be the Batman. That replacement is Jean-Paul Valley, which upsets Dick Grayson and the rest of the Bat family. They're like, "Batman, what are you doing?" Dick totally could have been Batman, except, he's his own man and doesn't want to be in your shadow, but still, he would have done it. Though originally Tim Drake and Alfred were kind of okay with the new Batman, they just didn't realize that Valley is being swallowed up from the pressures of Batman and, of course, the Order of St. Dumas. Also, he's forbidden by Bruce, if he's going to be Batman, to face Bane at all. And Jean-Paul's like, okay, but then he's like, becomes super obsessive over Bane, and his methods become more and more violent, which alerts Bruce Wayne like, what are you doing, dude? Disobeying orders, he eventually faces Bane in a mall and almost dies because of it. He then kicks Robin out of the Batcave and says Batman doesn't need a Robin. Then he creates a brand new modern suit that became known as the future Batman suit. Well before Batman Beyond. This probably paved the way for Batman Beyond, actually. His new suit had like really strong armor, it was equipped with lasers and gauntlets with knives, night vision, Kevlar armor on top of that, so super bulletproof. He had a searchlight and other advanced tech that Batman never relied on, because it's not about all the tech that makes Batman, which is something Valley never learns. He's also fueled by the system, which is that Saint Dumas mental thing in his head, which makes him incredibly dangerous and crazy. Jean-Paul Valley, by fans, became known as the As-Bat. His second fight with Bane is a brutal one and shocks many of the Gotham Police Department who's watching this happen in Gotham Square. The Venom proves to actually be a pretty good match for the new Batman, but Jean notices that there are tubes in the back of Bane's head, so he cuts them, which causes Bane to have massive withdrawal, and he's unable to fight, so he flees. Valley then hunts Bane down like a dog and savagely continues to beat him, almost to death. After Bane begs Batman to destroy him, Valley says,
"No, Bane, you're broken, and Blackgate will hold the pieces."
Yeah, something like that. That's how I always imagine Valley's voice, you know, just kind of this crazy, angry guy, so Christian Bale. Years later, Bane returned to Gotham and fought alongside Bruce Wayne, who reclaimed the mantle from Valley, which Bane was actually kind of relieved because the replacement kinda nuts. Bane also asked Batman's assistance in destroying the Venom drug around the world, and then leaves Gotham. Unfortunately, he bumps into Talia al Ghul, they have a little thing, and then he meets her father, and Ra's is like, hey, why don't you become my heir and successor, which was a offer he only gave to the detective at one point. But he sees Bane as being worthy. So father and future son-in-law then head to Gotham and try to unleash this nasty virus on the world. And Batman is like, not cool with that. So Bruce and Bane actually face each other for the second time, but this time, since Batman is not in a weakened state, he easily mops the floor with the man who broke him. I mean, it's not even close. Ra's then kicks Bane out of the League of Shadows and is totally embarrassed and like, dude, how could you lose that badly? I mean, you suck. Bane's like, I'm sorry, father. But yeah, it was interesting. Bane then disappears and shows up again in a story where he's searching for his real father. According to a priest in Santa Prisca, 4 men could be Bane's dad, including Thomas Wayne, which would make Bane Bruce's younger brother. Batman lets Bane actually stay in the Wayne Manor for a little while during the DNA testing, and the two even team up to fight crime in Gotham City, which was awesome. When the results come in that Bane isn't related to Batman though, Bane and Batman are a little bummed because it would be cool to have a brother who's Batman, you know? But Batman has found a new respect for Bane, and Bane has found new respect for Batman. He actually leaves Wayne Manor with Bruce's blessing and financial support. So they have, like, you know, a Kodak moment. Eventually he learns that his father is actually the ruthless Asian crime lord known as King Snake, who is this really bad baddie that Tim Drake fought when he first became Robin, along with Lynx. He actually helps Batman defeat his father, but gets mortally wounded in the process. If it wasn't for Batman bringing Bane to a Lazarus pit, well, he wouldn't be here anymore. Apparently he forgets all that because during Infinite Crisis and 1 year later, Bane went back to his evil ways and is a bad guy again. During the Battle of Metropolis, he actually destroys a couple heroes, including Judo Master, by breaking him in half. Afterwards, he returns to his home country, and he's actually seen as a hero by his people, because he disposed of most of the drug cartels and Venom suppliers. He then decides to run for office because, you know, public opinion's pretty high. Then he gets accused of ballot stuffing and intimidation. Bane wouldn't do that. I would totally do that. When Judo Master's son from Checkmate begins hunting Bane, he actually ends up being defeated and drafted into Waller's Suicide Squad for the first time. Things don't go too well for Bane though, and he gets betrayed by the Joker and left on a prison planet. Though he does make his way back to Earth eventually and return to Santa Prisca, he becomes addicted to Venom again and declares martial law on his people. So yeah, things go pretty sour for him after that. Before the New 52, Bane is actually made a leader of a group called the Secret Six, and he actually becomes a father figure for one of the female members named Scandal Savage, which she may or may not be related to Vandal Savage, I'm not sure. Though while he declares,
"No woman will ever truly love me because I'm a monster."
secretly, without Bane knowing this, the young lady actually has a crush on him and possibly loves Bane. But of course, we'll never know what happens between these two, because after Flashpoint, Bane becomes a stupid, dumb, Titan-fueled monster just like the Arkham games. As for other media, Bane is shown in Batman the Animated Series as an arrogant muscle man luchador, who Rupert Thorne actually hires to destroy Batman. He gets too close to Rupert's mistress as well, and says he'll run Gotham soon, something Rupert won't be happy to hear. He actually proves to be a pretty formidable foe, and he has a plan where he captures Robin and lures Batman into a trap. At the start of the fight, he proves to be very superior in strength to Batman, but not quite as intelligent. He mocks Batman for throwing toys at him and not realizing what Batman was up to. Though Bruce knows Bane has a dependency on the Venom drug, and he has these things in his head pumping the drug. Bane lifts Batman over his head and isn't thinking that Batman actually has a Batarang hidden in his, fingers. So before Bane can break him, Batman turns around and slices the tubes from behind Bane's head, which caused the drug to leak out, Bane to have massive withdrawal, and he faints, thus rendering Bane completely useless. And as a kid, I always imagined if Bruce Wayne wasn't so weak during Knightfall, this is how the fight with Bane would have ended, with Bane utterly defeated and Batman victorious. Such a cool scene, I love it so much. The character was actually reduced to a brainless buffoon in Schumacher's Batman and Robin film, yet was still handled with better care than in the New 52. How is that even possible? I mean, that's just shameful. In the new Batman-Superman adventures, Bane gets a makeover and looks nothing like his comics counterpart. In this series, he shows more of his intelligence and less hired muscle routine. He's pretty nasty though, and his venom is even more powerful. Though Bane actually learns to fear the Batman after Superman posed as Bruce during a crossover episode. Superman literally almost destroyed Bane. It was hilarious. So for the rest of the series, Bane doesn't really appear all that much. He does show up again for a movie called The Mystery of Batwoman, but he's back to just playing a hired muscle and has an increased dose of venom. In Christopher Nolan's series, Tom Hardy's portrayal is the closest thing to comics we've seen, well, minus the venom. But Bane is now leader of the League of Shadows, or Assassins, and he's carrying out Ra's al Ghul's will by destroying Gotham. He breaks the Batman and uses his intelligence to bring the city to its knees by releasing all the Blackgate and Arkham Asylum inmates and threatening to blow up Gotham with a nuke, which creates kind of like this no man's land scenario in the Nolan universe. Bane was literally a genius with a plan and carried it out with military precision. This was no mere costume clown chasing cars. Bane becomes the last threat that Batman ever faces and his most dangerous, because the guy almost nukes Gotham. Even without the venom, Bane was one of the toughest foes Batman ever fought. But sadly, in the film, he's reduced to just a sidekick role when Talia's revealed. I mean, come on, she was the mastermind behind everything and Bane is like Ubu? That just really bothers me. Why would they do that? Bane's last media appearance that I know of was in Young Justice, where he's shown fighting Cobra for control of the Santa Prisca prison system. He may or may not have broke Batman in this series. I'm not really sure how the whole 5 year later thing works. And I think that's pretty much gonna do it for Bane. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch. In the comment section below, let me know who you want to see next, and I'll do my best to make it so. Well, until we meet again, gamers, God bless and happy gaming. See you tomorrow with more LEGO Batman 3 character spotlights. Bye-byes.